But yeah, it's great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a bit of a brief intro to myself, okay, and to the house, and we will go from there. So my name is Mrs. Malloy. I am the house progress leader for Gosforth. I'm also an English teacher, and I've been working here now since 2015. So I love it here. It is great fun, and I'm hoping that you're all looking forward to joining us, both for rollover week in a couple of weeks' time, but for the official start in September, which is brilliant. We also have in our house team, we have an amazing house support manager who is Miss Martins, and she's joining us tonight and she's keeping an eye on the chat. So if you do have any questions, if you put them in the chat and I'll try and answer them at the end, but I've also saved a bit of time at the end for us to have a bit of a Q&A anyway. We also have Miss Davis, who is our SLT lead from Gosforth, and I think you've already seen her in the meeting that you had with Miss Davis and Mr. Cooper prior to seeing me. But in terms of our house, we are by far amazing and the best. Okay, so people are worrying about having their cameras on. Do not worry. If you can't put your cameras on, that's fine. Or if you want to turn them off, that's also fine. Okay, but all I ask is that if you could mute yourselves, that will be perfect, just so that it doesn't echo around other people's computers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see what I can see, which is a PowerPoint I've prepared for you. Okay, I've got a lovely face at the bottom here nodding at me, which is great. So if that is you, thank you, because it's quite encouraging. Okay, so welcome to our new Year 7s. I can only imagine how excited you are about joining Dronfield Henry Fanshawe School. And whilst I am biased, it is a fabulous place to be. Okay, so I just ask that people mute themselves. Is that okay? Just so that it doesn't echo around everyone's computers. Is that all right? Okay, so as you can probably guess, our logo for Gosforth is the fire-breathing dragon. And you'll notice that that's going to be on all of my slides I'm going to show you tonight. If you ever come into my office, I've got a great big cuddly dragon as well that you can see. And you'll see that on all kind of our notice boards and things like that where Gosforth is portrayed. So you are officially our Gosforth Dragons. Now, in terms of the name, I'm not sure how much you're aware, but we have 6 houses at Fanshawe and Gosforth is just one of them. And they're all named after local places or kind of areas around Dronfield. Now, Gosforth was named after the Gosforth School that was opened in 1953. It's where the Stubley housing estate is in Dronfield Woodhouse at the moment. Now, I never attended the Gosforth school. I came straight up to Fanshawe as a student, but Gosforth is kind of the historical and legacy element of the school. Now, we have a house mascot, as I've mentioned, it's the dragon, but we also have a house phrase. Now, this is up for negotiation. We are going to look into this over the next few weeks, but at the moment, it is winners never quit and quitters never win. Now, that's because we are quite competitive. In school, we have lots and lots of different inter-house competitions where you are able to take part in things such as bake-offs. You're able to take part in things such as sports day competitions. We have various different things such as planner design competitions. Now, we expect our dragons in Gosforth to really engage with that and to run with it, okay? We want Gosforth to win everything. So that's including the number of achievement points that you get. And I want to be able to see all those lovely shiny badges on your blazers throughout the year. Now, just so you can know who to look for when you do come to Dronfield Henry Fanshawe School, I have put a picture of myself up there, although it is quite old, but I've also put up a photo of Miss Martins, our house support manager. Now, she deals with all the pastoral areas, including behaviour, attendance, and any well-being concerns, whereas I tend to work more along the academic and progress element of our school and the achievement of all groups of students within our house. But alongside us, we also have our house academic mentor. Now, this is Dr. Jones. She's a science teacher, but she works specifically with small groups of students on progress areas such as attendance, behaviour and academic elements. She also works really closely with our sixth form team, predominantly the year 13s when they start looking at university applications. but she's fantastic in terms of giving you advice and kind of strategies in which you can implement to be more organised or to make sure your homework's in on time. Now, alongside both myself, Miss Martins, Dr. Jones and Miss Davis, you will also get 1 or 2 mentors. You will see these mentors every single day, okay? And you'll see them for 15 minutes between 9 o'clock and 9:15 every single morning. We expect for you to arrive to school at about 10 to 9. So then you're in your mentor rooms, you're sat down with your planners out, silent reading, getting ready to go, and you'll have 15 minutes with your mentors. Now, they are, in essence, like your parents, but whilst you're at school, okay? And they will look after you in terms of making sure that you are happy. They will be able to give you advice, tell you where you need to be, give you any messages that you need to have, okay? They're also going to be your first point of contact if you have any concerns regarding kind of what's going on, or as a parent or whoever's looking after you at home, if they've got any concerns, then the mentor will be the first person to go to. Now, what I have done is I've put both mine and Miss Martin's email addresses on this slide. It might be worth you just taking a second to jot those down should you wish to. If you've got any specific questions about your child that you would like us to answer before starting, we will do our best. Just drop us an email and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Obviously, as I'm sure you'll understand, we've got a lot of new dragons joining us, so it might take us a while, but we will get there. Okay, I'll just give you a couple of seconds if you do want to jot that down. I suppose it is quite good for you to have it just for future reference anyway. Okay, so the first thing that I think we should talk about really is what is different about secondary school. Now, you guys are coming up from a primary school, which it is going to be quite different, and I don't want to say that things are going to be the same and nothing will change. Of course things will change, but it's exciting change, okay? You've gone from being very big fish in quite a small pond, and now you're going to be a small fish in a big pond, okay? So there are going to be things that you need to be expecting. The first thing, the size of our school is huge. We have got nearly 1,800 students, and year on year that number increases. Okay, now that number is a massive number of people to be around, but we are on a huge site as well. So we are quite nicely spread out. It's not as intimidating as it might come across, and our students are lovely. Okay, so even though you're coming up as year 6s into year 7s, okay, if you need advice as to where to go, if you can't find somewhere, just ask. Anybody will be able to help you. Okay, and we have all been there. We also have signage around our school in front of every building and kind of on the pathways directing you to different areas. So do not worry about finding your way around. Now, whereas in most primary schools, you kind of have your classroom and your desk and your tray, okay, the way it works in a secondary school, and our secondary school in particular, is that you will move from class to class. Now that means you have to be organised. Now I heard Mrs. Davis talk about the fact that you need to make sure that you're packing your bag in the evening and that you're using your planner effectively, and I absolutely echo that, okay? Now it is the student's job to pack their bag, to make sure they've got all their books, to make sure that they're organised with their equipment, okay? Now, whoever is looking after you at home, by all means you can help, but it is down to the student to take that responsibility. And one of the best ways in which we can do that is by using our planner effectively. Now we will have a bit of time when you join us introducing you to the planner, showing you how to use it. So don't worry too much about it right now. It's almost like having just a diary that you keep in your bag to record homework and meetings and enrichment days and things like that. Okay, we will also have a specialist teacher for each subject. So for example, I specialise in teaching English, okay, but we have specialist teachers in maths, and we have specialist teachers in science and art and drama and geography, okay. Rarely, okay, will the same teacher take you for 2 different subjects, unless it's a humanities subject where you tend to be able to specialise in both, or languages, which is fantastic. So you will have specialist teachers rather than one teacher covering all subjects. And you will belong to a house. Now, this is something that I have noticed some primary schools are starting to do, but in terms of secondary school, The house is your home and your family. Okay, so you will have got myself, Miss Martins, Miss Davis, Dr. Jones, all here working alongside your mentors to make sure that you are happy, healthy, safe, enjoying your time at school, having some great friendships and making some amazing memories, but also working really hard and achieving your academic potential, that we know that you're going to be amazing here. Okay, I've spoken to you about your 2 form mentors, okay, but I just want to reiterate something else that I know has already been mentioned to you about the uniform, now specifically the badges. Now, myself and Miss Martins, we're here tonight and we've both got our badges and we wear those with pride, okay? It's just a crest. It's got a black background with a shiny gold G in the middle to show that you are in Gosforth. Now, I am expecting to see all of the Gosforth Dragons wearing those badges with pride, okay, on your lapel, on your blazer, so that everybody knows which house you belong to. You will also get a badge that has your year group on there, okay, and that is so that members of staff can see exactly who you are, which year group you're in and where you're supposed to be. Now, throughout your time at Fanshawe, we also have achievement points, and you've had those spoken to you about those in the past, and you'll receive badges when you hit threshold, which is fantastic. Now, taking pride in those achievements, that's what we want, and as a Gosforth house, we're wanting you to be able to celebrate those achievements and wear them with pride next to that Gosforth badge on your lapel. Okay, so taking that on, I have heard Mrs. Davis speak about the fact you need to be responsible for your own punctuality. Now, punctuality is vital no matter if you are at primary school or at secondary school, but often with primary school, it's your parents kind of dropping you off, and that's kind of up to you. But in secondary school, we're expecting you to make sure you are here on time, and it's not your parents' fault or whoever's looking after you at home's fault. If you're not, it's yours. Okay, so we need you on time. That's not just at 10 to 9, that is to every single lesson. Okay, now in terms of our expectations, it is really important that you know that we have got some really high expectations, just as a school, yes, but in particular Gosforth. Okay, so Gosforth as a house, like I've mentioned before, we are a family, we're your home, but we expect the best. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this idea of the power of yet. Okay, now as an English teacher, I find that word yet brilliant. Okay, I can't do this yet. This doesn't work yet. I don't know yet. It doesn't make sense yet. I don't get it yet. I'm not good at this yet. Now, that kind of ethos is what we want from our students. We need you to recognise that this is a journey and you are not going to get it right the first time every time. I certainly don't. I make mistakes quite frequently. Okay, but it is a case of you learning from those mistakes and not making them again. So this doesn't work yet, or I don't know yet. That's fine, because you've got people around you to help you get to that kind of journey, that goal. I've spoken to you about a community. Now, Dronfield, I've been born and bred in Dronfield. Okay, we have a fabulous community here, and we are expanding that community because we've got students coming in from not only Dronfield, we've got them coming in from Sheffield and Chesterfield and the local areas too. Now, Gosforth, one of our focuses, or foci this year, is on community. So we are going to be getting out there, we're going to be meeting people, okay, and I want you to be champions of that kind of community ethos. I want to hear about the things you're doing out there. Are you getting involved in scouts, in guides? Are you involved in the cadets? Are you going to represent us when we do the remembrance walk through Dronfield? Because I'm wanting to see you there with me. Okay, now the 2 expectations that I've just shown you on the screen, the 3 R's. I know you've had that kind of explained to you already, but that is kind of what we adhere to as a school. Be responsible, be resilient, and be reflective. And we will be kind of looking at those words across every single subject and what that means to us as a school. In essence, as a Gosforth student, as one of our dragons, we expect you to adhere to all of those 3 R's. To be responsible, okay, for both yourself and for other people, for your learning, okay, but also in terms of the community too. We want you to be resilient. We're not going to get things right the first time, okay? Sometimes you're going to get knocked down, you need to pick yourself back up, and we're here to help you do that. And we want you to be reflective. So we want you to look back on your experiences. What can you learn from them? What can you take forward? And those people who are really going to be out there being our shining kind of stars for the house is what can you teach others from your experiences? Now, in order for that to work, we have the student as our focus point. Okay, so what we've done here is I've kind of created a bit of a diagram for you, for those people who can see it, between DHFS, the student, and the parent and carer, or whoever is looking after the student at home. It is a three-way partnership, and myself, Miss Martins, Miss Davis, Dr. Jones, we work really hard to forge those connections and those communication links with home. If you have got any concerns, email us, drop us a phone call, okay? We will do our best to get back to you, but in essence, the things that we do always have the student's best interest at heart. They are the centre of every decision that is being made, both in the whole school, yes, but in particular in Gosforth, this is something that we really take a lot of pride in when it comes to the hours that we put in working with our students, okay? So, homework is often the big question that I get asked by lots of students coming up to Fanshawe as to how much homework are we going to get? Do we get detentions if we don't do homework? Am I going to be expected to do hours of homework every night and read every book that I can possibly find? So I'm hoping that I'm going to answer some of those questions for you now. Now, I think it's important just to kind of eradicate any myths. Yes, you are going to get homework. No, you are not going to have to work for hours upon hours every single night. We don't want you to do that, okay? You will burn yourself out. We need you to look after, yes, your academic progress, but we also need you to look after yourself, your well-being and your mental health. So we have some very clear reasons why we do homework. It supports the learning that you have in class. It prepares you for future learning. It promotes time management and responsibility. And it also promotes those 3 R's: resilience, responsibility, and to be reflective. Now, the kind of homework tasks that we set vary from subject to subject. It could be a project. So, for example, this week I've set a project for my Year 7s looking into the world of Shakespeare, okay? And I've had things like cakes being made for me, or we've had models of the globe being made, and we've had timelines created. Or you might get asked to write a paragraph in response to a question. Maybe you might get asked to take a photograph of something outside that you've experienced for art or photography. But in essence, it doesn't matter what type of homework you've been asked to do. We need you to record it, complete it, and hand it in. Now, you need to record it neatly in your planner so that both you know what homework you've got and the people who are supporting you at home know what homework you've got. You need to complete it to the best of your ability, not the night before. Okay, don't try to do it the night before it's due, because you'll be rushed, you'll be stressed, you'll be tired, and it won't be the work that we're expecting. You then need to hand it in on time. And sometimes that is where a lot of our students kind of stumble, is they'll do the work, they'll record it, but they forget to bring it in. That's where we go back to packing your bag the night before and being organised, using your planner effectively. Now, to support you in that, we also have the Sims app. Okay, so this is an app that we ask for parents or whoever is at home and students to download. There is a parent and a student version of each of the apps. And we ask you to check that Sims app every evening. You'll be able to see your attendance on there. You'll be able to see any achievement points or behaviour points. And you'll also be able to see any homework that is being set by your teachers and when it's due in. So if you are one of those adults who are at home that are thinking, oh gosh, I've got to try and keep track of all these homeworks that are going to be coming from Fanshawe with my child coming home, it's going to be on your phone. You'll be able to use it. It's really quite user-friendly. Okay. Now, as I've said, complete it where possible the night it's set. It could be fresh in your mind. Okay. But if not, always ask for help. We also have homework club. So if you don't have, excuse me, if you don't have access to the internet or laptops, computers, etc. at home, okay, you can stay behind after school. You can use our library, which has thousands upon thousands of resources in terms of books, but we also have loads of computers and printer facilities available for you. Now that is open before school, after school and lunchtime, okay, but it's an opportunity also for you to ask members of staff for support should you need it. Okay. Any questions that are being posted into the chat, I will come to at the end, so please don't think I'm ignoring you. Okay, I will get to those, but hopefully I might answer some of these as we go through. Now, I've mentioned already the idea or the focus of Gosforth and all the other houses is on the level of communication that we have with the parent and carers. Now, we have dedicated evenings for those throughout the year as well. We call them the parent and carer evenings. Okay, you often might see them referred to as the PCCE. Okay, that's the parent carer consultation evenings. In essence, it's like parents' evening at primary school. Now, what happens in those parents' evenings, okay, or consultation evenings, is that you will be invited to attend those evenings once a year. Now, at the moment, given the current COVID situation, they have all been done via Teams, such as this meeting, rather than face-to-face. Now, we don't know how it's going to be next year, so I don't particularly want to go down the route of will it be or won't it be like that? We don't know. However, we like to do things face-to-face, okay? Now, the way that this tends to work is it's an online booking system. You'll get sent a link via email, which is really important for you to keep an eye on. Okay, your email is where we will send you letters home. It's where members of staff will email you if they've got any concerns, but it's also where members of staff will email you if they want to show any praise or a particular achievement that your child has made. Okay, now your parent consultation evenings are absolutely vital to discuss your child's progress. We do ask that every parent attends the parent consultation evenings, okay? And if for whatever reason you are unable to attend, that you do send an email or some form of communication to the house team where we can then collect any feedback should we need to. But we absolutely encourage our students to come with their parents, carers, or whoever is at home, because we feel that it is genuinely that triangle of support that I'm showing you on the screen right now. The parent, carer, the student, and the school need to work together in order for those students to make progress. Now, we ask that you come with some specific questions, okay? We also often turn our parent consultation evenings round. So I, for example, often start those meetings by saying to the student who's sat in front of me, how do you think it's going? Okay, what do you enjoy about these lessons? What do you not enjoy about these lessons? What do you think you could improve on? Now, that's not because I don't know your student, I definitely do. It's more because of bringing in that reflective element that we've spoken about in those 3 R's, taking responsibility for your own learning, reflecting on it, and taking on the feedback and advice from myself. Okay, now, if you have any questions on that, please do not hesitate just to let me know and I will get back to you. Now, we have a whole host of different ways of communicating with you. Now, in terms of transition, I know that it can be quite a daunting prospect, seeing your child grow up and go to a huge secondary school when perhaps they've been to quite a small primary school. I know I think I'm going to be a little bit terrified when my little boy goes up to secondary school. Now, in terms of finding all the information that you need, you can find it all on the school website. Okay, so that's not just for transition, that is throughout your time here. If you go onto the school website and hover over the tab at the top that says parents, all the letters home are listed and you can then find your way around. Now, in particular, for this session, it's the Year 6 transition. Okay, now in terms of who you can contact, you could contact a specific teacher if you have a concern or question regarding a specific lesson. You could speak to the mentor, so your child's mentor, if you have a general concern. If it's an academic concern that's more than just in one particular subject, you can contact me directly on my email that I gave you before. If it's a pastoral concern, such as your attendance, or perhaps if it's more down to things like behaviour points and things like that, you can speak to Mrs. Martins, and between myself, Mrs. Martins, Miss Davis and Dr. Jones, we will support you as much as we can. Now, the best way for you to stay up to date with what your child is doing, because in primary schools, there seems to be a little bit more scope for you to pop in, speak to the teacher when you collect your child. We obviously can't do that on a site like this. So the best way for you to be able to contact us and to keep an eye on what your child is doing is through that Sims app, because that's the most up-to-date way of seeing the overview of your student. Now, we also are able to send text messages home should we need to. So, for example, if your student needs to stay after school for a detention, or if they have got a meeting that they need to be attending with you after school, we are able to send that text message home should we need to your mobile phone. Now, as a result of that, we need you to ensure that you keep your contact details within school completely up to date. If you change your address, your email, your phone number, any form of contact information must be kept up to date because of things such as if your student falls ill, we need to be able to contact you quickly. If we need to notify you of something that's happened in the school day, or if it's snowing and we need people to get home or to catch buses, we need to be able to contact you quickly. Now, the school website is a fantastic tool for information, but social media, whilst often it does get a bit of stick in the news, we do use Twitter to kind of promote a lot of the work that we do here at DHFS. We also put some of our most important and urgent messages that we need parents to see quickly on Twitter. So please make sure that if you have a Twitter account, you do follow us on there as well. Absolutely, in terms of emailing staff, I've mentioned it before, I encourage that, okay? Now, as an English teacher myself and every other teacher in school, we have heavy teaching loads, okay? So we might not be able to reply to you within the hour, but we do try to get back to you within 2 working days, so 2 school days. And if kind of that's a problem, or if there's going to be a delay, then phone calls are still a possibility as well. Okay, now we've spoken about the parents' evenings, okay, but VSPRs are another way in which we forge those communication links. Now, an SPR is a student progress review. A VSPR is a verbal student progress review. Okay, and what we do in terms of VSPRs, this is when your mentor, so the person who your child will see for 15 minutes every morning, they will call home at some point in the year to check in on how your student is feeling, how are they coping at school, are they doing okay with their homework, do they need any help, can we provide any more help or support for them? Okay, it's the opportunity really for your mentor to kind of forge those links with home, and it's an opportunity for you to raise any questions, concerns or queries that aren't specific to in particular subject, and for the mentor to be able to find the answers for you in that way. Now, in my experience, if there has ever been a question that a parent has asked me that I don't know the answers to, which does happen, please bear with us. We will get back to you as soon as we do know the answer, but we will always strive to find you the answer, okay? Now, expectations. We have been saying this word quite a lot tonight, so I'm sure you're getting a little bit sick of it. However, expectations is central to your success here at Dronfield Henry Fanshawe School. We've spoken about this idea of community, focus, the way that we have that 3-way partnership, but I wanted to draw your attention to this image that I've put here on the bottom left. A little progress each day adds up to big results, okay? Every single day is a new day. And you're going to have the occasional bad day, okay? But every single day will be a step forward to where you want to be, whether you want to be a doctor or a nurse or a teacher or a vet or somebody who works in the local shop or somebody who works in the admin sector. Wherever you want to take your life, every single day counts. So the best thing you can be doing is making sure that you come to school and that you are able to take advantage of all the opportunities that we offer for you. Now, in terms of coming to school, this is something that I do like to show my new dragons as they join Gosforth. In essence, we expect students to attend school every day, wherever possible, but we are all human, okay? So you might fall poorly, you might get a tummy bug, and so we understand that occasionally you might have to stay at home to make sure that you get better and return kind of full steam ahead. However, we ask for pupils to aim for 96% or more in terms of their attendance. If it's below 96%, it's not good enough. And both myself and Miss Martins will be asking questions as to where you have been and try to put into place strategies to help to ensure that you do attend school more than the current state. So 90% is not good enough. Okay, so one school year if you were to attend only 90% of that school year, means in essence you will have missed 4 whole weeks of lessons, okay? Which is a huge amount. I can't imagine anybody wanting to take off 4 weeks worth of their lessons and still expect them to make the same amount of progress. It just wouldn't work, okay? And if we break that down into hours, that is 100 hours of lessons that you'll have missed by having only a 90% attendance. Now, any student who drops between 96 to 93, we will be asking for medical evidence every single time that you are off. So that would be a letter from the GP or a letter from your dentist, etc. Okay, we would need the evidence if you hit 93% so that we can ensure that any absences are going to be authorised. Okay, but the best way in which we can do that is by communication. So if you've got any worries about attendance, then please drop Miss Martins an email or myself and we will help you wherever we can. Okay, new month, new beginning, new mindset, new focus, new start, new intentions, new results, but in essence you are new dragons. Okay, you are joining Gosforth. It's going to be fabulous, and it's my first full year as your house progress leader, so it's a new time for me as well. Okay, so we're going to be in this together, we'll be learning together. Now, in order for us to be organised, we have some weekly routines. When you arrive with us for the transition week, if you're able to join us for that time, just before the summer holidays, you will receive a timetable. It'll look a little bit like this, but not 100% the same. In essence, you'll see, I'm hoping you can see my cursor, it has the time that your lesson is, what the subject is, where you need to be, and the member of staff that will be with you, okay? So, for example, for this student, we are expecting them to arrive on Monday morning at, well, before 9 o'clock, because during 9 and 9:15 is mentor time. It's their tutor period, okay, with Mr. Cooper. Then they will be moving on to history in C16. Now, we've got different blocks in our school, as I'm sure you're already aware. And in C block, in room 16, you will find Miss Lawton, and she will be teaching history between 9:15 and 10:15. You'll notice that there are gaps between the second white block and the third white block, and then between the third and the fourth lesson here. That is because you have break time at 10:15 until 10:30, and you have lunchtime from 12:30 until 1:30. Okay, but throughout the week during those mentor times, so during 9 to 9:15, we will have regular planner checks. Now, what we mean by that is we expect you to fill out your achievement points and your behaviour points every single week in your planner. We also expect you to fill out a graph that your mentor will show you when you join us for your attendance, because it's really important that you know exactly what your attendance is, and that if someone asks you, excuse me, Sarah, what is your attendance? And you need to be able to go 98%, okay? So we will do that on a Monday morning. We also do regular uniform and equipment checks. Now, you've been spoken to about uniform expectations already, okay, and I've reiterated the message, especially in terms of badges. So please make sure if there are any kind of questions about uniform, that you do check out the school website. All the uniform expectations are listed there, and it explains how you can go about ordering any more uniform should you need to. Now, on a Wednesday morning, we have an assembly. This year, because of COVID, those assemblies have been done virtually. So either myself or a different member of staff around the school records a message that's about 10 minutes long, and it will be sent out to those students to see on a Wednesday morning. Now, fingers crossed, next year, they will be back to being face-to-face assemblies. Now, because we do vertical mentoring, that means that in Gosforth, we have got students from year 7 right through to year 13. So on a Wednesday morning, if we do a face-to-face assembly, it will be a case of, I will have got students in a great big hall from year 7 to 13, because we are that family, we have that family ethos in terms of being dragons. However, occasionally there will be year group assemblies, and they tend to be on a Friday, okay? And that again will be during mentor time, but you'll get notified if and when they occur and if they're relevant for you. Now, these are our weekly routines as a Gosforth mentor group, okay? So on a Monday, we go through our standards and our expectations and our routines. Tuesday, it's SMSC. Now, SMSC is when you are looking at like social and moral elements of our community. So, for example, we've been looking at safety and protection recently. You might also be looking at particular religious holidays that might be going on around that time, or things that might be cropping up in the news. Now, we're looking at changing this slightly. So when you arrive with us in September, this might have been tweaked slightly, as we are going to start looking at something called Votes for Schools, which is looking at different elements around the news programmes and seeing kind of what's going on in the world around us and having those discussions and keeping up to date with topical events. Now, we encourage students, especially from Year 7, to engage in those discussions, ask those difficult questions, because you have got both staff members there, but also students with more experience who will be able to help you wherever possible. We do ask also, before I forget, that parents sign the planners every single week. Now, the reason for that is there is a space for you to sign, but we ask for you to sign them so that you can see what homework is being set, so you can see if the homework is being completed or not. Okay, and so you can also see your students' attendance, behaviour and achievement points, because they should also have been recorded in there each week. Okay, now the bit that is coming up fast, okay, in the next couple of weeks is our induction week. Now, a couple of people have been asking via email as to what is expected during induction week, so I thought I would collate this information for you. In essence, we understand that a lot of students are not going to have their full set of uniform during that transition week. I think it starts on the 19th of July. So what we expect is that you wear a white t-shirt or polo shirt or a formal shirt, okay, so that you are still looking smart. We ask for you to wear sensible trousers or a formal knee-length skirt, okay, black if possible, no shorts, no dark tracky bottoms, jeans, leggings are an absolute no-go. Okay, so please make sure that they are sensible, smart trousers. We ask for you to also bring your equipment for the week. Now, that is a minimum, I've put pencil on here twice, that as a minimum means you need to have your pencil case, that's better, your black and blue pen, a ruler and a pencil. We also ask, if possible, if you could bring things such as a calculator or a highlighter. That would be really helpful too. A lot of subjects do rely on those other elements. Now, in your planner, you will also see there is a list of equipment. If you have any questions regarding equipment, do let us know and we will get back to you, because it does vary slightly from subject to subject. Now, footwear. Our school is on a big site that is uphill. Green Lane is quite a steep hill. We need you to be in sensible shoes, okay? Now, if you are deciding to wear trainers for the induction week, they must be black, but we definitely do not want to see flip-flops, pumps, ballet shoes, okay, or sandals. We don't really want to see you in shoes that you're going to hurt yourself, so definitely no heels, okay? Not that I would expect you to turn up in heels anyway. Now, sensible footwear means that you are able to go from one end of the site to the other quickly. I don't mean run, okay? We want you to be sensible and safe, but we need you to be comfortable too. Okay, now, a lot of students in Year 7, especially when they first start, you see them walking around the school with this great big huge backpack that's like enough to pack the kitchen sink in, okay? You really don't need a bag that big, but you do need a bag big enough to carry your equipment, such as your exercise books, your PE kit, maybe your lunch or some ingredients. If you've got food tech, you'll be notified about this if it is appropriate, okay? Now, a suitable bag is required. A handbag or a little cross-the-shoulder bag is not going to be big enough. Trust me, I carry around a huge handbag and I'm always carrying books and folders around in my arms. Okay, so please make sure that you have an appropriate rucksack if possible. I also suggest, if you can, get one that's got a zip on it, so then you can keep things secure. Now, you will receive, as our new Year 7s, your timetable during your induction week, your planner, a green pen and a house badge. We expect that house badge to be worn on your blazer. The green pens are what we ask you to use when you are doing reflective writing, such as dirt work. Your planner is kind of your go-to for information and your organisation, and your timetable is exactly where you need to be, when and with whom. Now, I wanted to save just a little bit of time for this final point here on it being a cashless school. In some primary schools, it might be the case that you have to take dinner money in, say, on a Monday morning, and that pays for the school dinners throughout the week. We do not operate in that way. We don't have cash on site. So what we do ask is that you use parent pay to be able to put money onto your student's card. Now, your student will receive their card and it'll have their photograph on it, okay? And you will receive a login to Parent Pay when you hand your paperwork into the help desk, okay? Or we're actually doing it electronically this time round. Now, you will then have a week or so to register, and we expect, or we suggest rather, that you put on a little bit of money up to about £15. We don't say masses, it's just in case the student loses the card, okay? But about £15, which will then help to pay for your student's food. Now, you can purchase food at break time and during lunchtime, okay? And everything's just done contactlessly via the card system. Now, in talking of cards, we have the Beeline system as well, and that is something that is done by Derbyshire, where you are able to access the buses and things like that, and they'll all kind of connect together. Now, in terms of you getting the information that you need, this is a screenshot of the school website where the transition information is. I've circled it in red where you need to click. Once you open that, you'll be able to find the admission forms, and I've put an arrow there, so you need to complete those and return them, okay? And from there, you'll be able to access everything that we need in terms of moving forward. Now, if I stop sharing my screen with you, and we'll go back onto our meeting here. Okay, I'm hoping you can see me. Now, if you have got any questions, I've just, myself and Miss Martins are just looking at the questions in the chat. So, do they need to have their PE kit in rollover? I would definitely recommend that you bring it for the first day. You may not have PE, but if you bring it with you, then you're prepared, and you will then also find out when you will need to bring it for the rest of the week. Okay, so I would advise that you do bring your PE kit for the first day. How do we get the Sims app? Okay, so the Sims app will be, you'll be sent a link, I think it's via email, and you'll be able to do that once you've filled out the paperwork and returned it, so then we've got all the information that we need to log on there for you. No one I know is in my house. Now, do not worry about that at all, okay? If you are coming from a school where you perhaps don't have your best friend in your house, that's okay. You're still going to see them. They might still be in your lessons. They might still be in and around school that you'll be able to see them. So it is 15 minutes of the day, but you'll make new friends, okay? We have a big school that has a lot of students, so take the opportunity to kind of reinvent yourself. It's a fresh start. Make some new friends. I've got some friends that I made when I joined here. They were my bridesmaids a couple of years ago. You'll make some friends for life. You'll be great. Okay. Do the mentors stay the same from years 7 to 13? Yes. Okay. Your mentor will go with you all the way from 7 to 13 because you will stay in the same mentor group, and kind of the year 7s will progress up and the year 13s will leave, and it just kind of goes around in a bit of a cycle. Okay. Are there lockers? Yes, you can purchase a locker. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's £5, but it's something that you'll be able to organise in September. We don't tend to sort it out at the moment, but that's something that we'll be able to talk to you about, and you'll receive communication regarding that as well. What website do we use for uniform? Now, if you go onto the school website, there is, or there are rather, links to where you can purchase uniform, and it talks you all the way through there. Okay, so just have a nosy around the school website. Everything's freely available on the website for you to have a look at, and you'll be able to find the links that you need on there. Where do the children need to go for the first day? So what you need to do is you need to enter the school. I think we're going from, is it Princess Road we're starting from? Yeah, at the moment we go from Princess Road, but there'll be lots of members of staff waiting, and they'll guide you exactly as to where you need to be. So it's nothing to worry about at all. And in terms of the PE kit, what PE kit is needed for induction week, okay, we have mentioned that slightly already. So shorts, t-shirt, trainers, making sure that you've got everything that you need in terms of maybe a fresh pair of socks, I'd advise, okay, that kind of thing. Do students need DHFS shorts and socks for PE? No, okay. Do not worry too much about that. And in terms of the admission forms, okay, everything is on the website for you to fill out, and it explains exactly what you need to do in terms of those admission forms. We do advise though that you get the PE tops in terms of PE, but we won't expect those for during rollover week or induction week. That'll be from September onwards. Okay? There's a lot of questions, but I'm hoping that I've answered them. If you do find, oh, hang on, will parents be able to come into the school with the student on the first day? So we do ask that parents do not come into school with their student on the first day. Okay, it's not the best start for a student to come in when we're asking them to be responsible and to be looking after themselves. We will greet them though, and we will look after them. So please ensure or trust us, okay, that we will be looking after your little ones. That's not a problem. I can imagine it can be quite scary, okay? But we'll be there, all smiley and glowing, okay? And we'll see them there. It's really nothing to worry about. Now, what I will do is I'll collate some of these questions, but any of the questions that perhaps we haven't answered that you do feel are urgent, please do drop us an email. You've got our email addresses, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, lovely. And we shall see you soon. Thank you for joining us. Bye.